Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking.
The WNBA All-Star Game just saw something unprecedented with 27 million viewers. However, what transpired in the following that, a news conference would start a firestorm in which the basketball community would be forced to take sides. Never one to hold back, Colin Cowherd just gave the most brutal critique in the history of sports media. Kelsey Plum, a standout for the Los Angeles Sparks, is his objective. This isn't your normal sports dispute. This is about showing gratitude, showing respect, and playing the risky game of biting the hand that feeds you. And people, Colin Cowherd is furious as hell. Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis on a Saturday night. The WNBA in 2025. The All-Star Game was intended to be a celebration and a display of the best players in the league competing at the greatest level. Rather, it served as the backdrop for one of the most tone-deaf incidents in modern sports history. Both All-Star squads appeared during warm-ups sporting black t-shirts with a straightforward yet impactful slogan printed across the front. "Give us the money you owe us." The audience erupted. The WNBA players' collective statement regarding contract negotiations and salary disputes was viewed by 27 million people. It was impactful, well-coordinated, and sent shockwaves through the basketball community. However, this is where things start to get both fascinating and frustrating. Kelsey Plum, a shooting guard who has been in the league since 2017, chose to blame Caitlin Clark during the post-game news conference. Not delicately, not tactfully, but with a type of measured accuracy that makes your blood boil.
That was a very powerful moment. We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise. But the t-shirt, just united front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very...
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation light, okay? But yeah, no, I think it was just all of us getting on the same page for the game. We wanted to do something that was just united and collective, and I thought that it was a very powerful moment and got the point across, and, sometimes you don't have to say anything.
When speaking about the t-shirt protest, Plum noted, it was a very powerful moment. We were unaware as players that such would occur. The dagger then appeared. She specifically criticized Caitlin Clark's All-Star team, Team Clark, for missing the meeting where the t-shirt demonstration was scheduled.
I think it was a terrible PR decision. Judging by the response on social media, it was a PR disaster. All right, an absurd move right before the All-Star Game.
Give that some time to sink in. A veteran who ought to have been expressing gratitude to the athlete who has single-handedly elevated women's basketball from a fringe sport to must-see television was publicly humiliating her. The Herd with Colin Cowherd airs on Fox Sports one Monday morning. The host was also prepared for battle. Cowherd yelled, "Stop talking," his voice growing louder by the second. Why'd you take a shot at the Golden Goose?
So the t-shirts don't bother me. But why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter.
However, that was only the first shot. The verbal assault that followed will be reenacted for years to come. You're making fun of the person who got you the upgrade after going from a Motel 6 in a dubious area of town to a Four Seasons in the retail district. Like a freight train, the metaphor struck. Cowherd wasn't finished either. He went on, his annoyance evident over the radio. Keep your problems to yourself and start appreciating what Caitlin Clark has helped bring to the WNBA. Adult up.
I don't mind the t-shirts. I think you have leverage. I think you deserve more than 9%. But it's just misstep after misstep. It's time to grow up, girls, like fast.
Here's why Cowherd's indignation is so appealing and well-founded. It is evident from the data that every WNBA veteran should reconsider their criticism of Caitlin Clark. On a good night, WNBA games drew an average of 400,000 viewers prior to Clark joining the league. Games involving Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, are regularly drawing crowds of over 1.7 million viewers this season. Over 3 million people have watched some games. The number of people watching television has grown by 170% in the past year. Attendance data tell an even more striking story. The Fever sold out 17 of their 20 home games this season. When Indiana comes to town, road games, venues that used to hardly fill half of their capacity now sell out. For 27 years, the league has been losing between $10 and $12 million a year. For the first time in its history, the WNBA is predicted to get close to profitability this year. And Caitlin Clark is the name of the cause. Cowherd's tirade was powerful for reasons other than its intensity. It was the indisputable reality of what he was saying. Even though Kelsey Plum was a brilliant player in her own right, she had never had the same impact on women's basketball in a single season as Clark. This individual is responsible for the sport's rise in popularity. Cowherd stressed the weight of statistical realism in his voice. You're also making fun of her.
It's only going to get more profitable as women's basketball gets better, as the Caitlin Clark momentum train gets bigger. I mean, this year, she's not playing well. She's hurt. She's not there for all the games. So this is actually not as great as it could be.
The irony is oppressive. With good reason, Plum and her fellow WNBA veterans are calling for greater pay. However, the one player who is genuinely enabling those greater earnings is the target of their attack. It would be equivalent to spitting in the face of the person who brought the pie while griping about how big your slice is. You must comprehend what Clark has accomplished as a professional in less than a year in order to comprehend why Cowherd's defense of him strikes such a deep chord. With 3,685 career points, she shattered the NSA division's single scoring record for both men and women. For the first time since 2009, she guided Iowa to consecutive national championship games. Her collegiate matches consistently outperformed men's March Madness events, including the championship. She did more than simply join the WNBA after being selected first overall by the Indiana Fever. She revolutionized it. Sales of merchandise soared. The league inked hundreds of millions of dollars in new television contracts. Suddenly, corporate sponsors who had never given a dime to women's basketball were writing checks. The biggest endorsement agreement in women's basketball history, worth $28 million over 8 years, was extended to her by Nike. For her, Gatorade made a special drink. Wilson created a basketball with his trademark design. In a league that had never witnessed anything like it, this is an impact comparable to that of Michael Jordan. But let's get back to the dispute. Every WNBA fan should be horrified by what Plum said in her remarks. It appears that Team Clark was not invited to, or did not attend a meeting to plan the t-shirt protest.
Literally went from an average walk-in price of $121 to 64 bones. 64 bucks to get in once Caitlin Clark's injury came out that she wasn't going to play. And I'm very interested to see what those ratings look like.
Consider that. The face of women's basketball, the league's biggest star, and the woman who brings in the most money, was left out of a protest on player pay. It's similar to organizing a film premiere without inviting the star. This absurdity caught Cowherd's attention. When someone is paying the bills, you don't criticize them. Business 101 is this. The unsettling reality that Cowherd dared to reveal aloud is this. Instead of celebrating Caitlin Clark's accomplishment, several WNBA veterans appear to be angry about it. It is easy to comprehend why. Players like Kelsey Plum have spent years honing their skills and advancing their careers in the league. Then a rookie, age 22, enters and immediately makes a huge difference. The recognition, support, and media attention that veterans have been battling for. Before she participated in a single professional game, Clark had it all. However, such animosity is hazardous in addition to being out of place. Because Clark is out there representing the entire league while veterans are making passive-aggressive remarks about her. The comparison of Cowherd's Motel 6 to Four Seasons was more than just flowery hyperbole. It was the ideal summary of Clark's contributions to the WNBA. The league functioned like a roadside hotel for 27 years. Subsistence-level income, few comforts, and little attention. In order to pay their rent during the off-season, players took on second occupations. There was little television coverage, and games were played in half-empty arenas. Everyone was abruptly staying at the Four Seasons when Clark arrived. Better facilities, sold-out arenas, multi-million-dollar endorsement deals, higher salary caps, primetime television slots, and better travel conditions. And in a nationally televised press conference, Kelsey Plum chose to criticize the person who made it possible rather than express gratitude. With his experience in journalism and business, Cowherd is able to comprehend something that several WNBA players.
She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew she was being shitty, and she was. That's what she was doing. She knows Caitlin Clark's got a ton of fans that support her, and she purposely gave her a double middle finger.
Don't seem to grasp. Your meal ticket is not antagonized. It's not only bad sportsmanship to take needless jabs at her. Economic suicide. Jealousy, let's call it that. Professional jealousy that is pure and unadulterated. For 8 seasons, Kelsey Plum has played in the WNBA. She used to be a top draft pick. At Washington, she took home a college national title. She has received numerous all-star honors. With one exception, she has achieved everything a women's basketball player could want to achieve. The needle was never moved by her. Plum never produced the same level of buzz, income, or recognition in 8 years as Clark did during her debut season as a professional basketball player. That must hurt. It has to be frustrating. It must evoke nuanced feelings on your position within the sports hierarchy. However, Cowherd drew the line at making those emotions public and made them Clark's concern. Cowherd's tirade actually revealed a leadership void in the WNBA. Where are the seasoned voices standing up for Clark? Where are the players that realize that everyone benefits from her success? They ought to defend their golden goose rather than taking bullets like Plum. Instead of knocking her down, they ought to be uplifting her. They ought to be fostering an atmosphere that will entice the league's top player to remain for the ensuing 15 years. Because this is the WNBA's terrible reality. They are unnecessary for Caitlin Clark. She might be able to retire tomorrow and earn more money from endorsement deals than she would ever earn from basketball. She might switch to coaching, broadcasting, or a variety of other fields. She is immensely more necessary to the league than the league is to her. Throughout his portion, Cowherd repeatedly said, "Stop talking." It was more than just Kelsey Plum counsel. It was a warning to any WNBA players who could carry similar grievances. Give up talking and begin to show gratitude. Quit whining and begin making money. Quit disparaging Clark and realize that his popularity has a direct impact on your compensation. Because those 4-season accommodations end quickly when Caitlin Clark decides she has had enough of the envy, pettiness, and passive-aggressive remarks. Colin Cowherd's forceful defense of Caitlin Clark was more than simply entertaining TV. It was essential medication for a league that seemed intent on undermining its own achievements. The WNBA has been looking for a transcendent talent who could improve the sport as a whole for the past 27 years. They were given one. She is 22 years old, incredibly gifted, and has already shown that she is capable of turning women's basketball into a must-see event on her own. Additionally, some veterans are making fun of her in news conferences rather than defending that investment. It's insane. Colin Cowherd was correct to criticize it with the ferocity and zeal it merited. Now, the WNBA must decide if it will heed Cowherd's advice or keep going in this destructive direction of eating its own. Don't be shocked if their golden goose decides to fly somewhere else if they opt for the latter. What are your thoughts? Was Colin Cowherd correct to criticize Kelsey Plum? Or was it excessive of him to defend Caitlin Clark? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Don't hold back either. We want to get your thoughts on this ongoing debate. If you believe Cowherd was right on the money, please like this video. This WNBA drama is only beginning, so hit the notification bell and subscribe for more thrilling sports analysis. We'll be here to dissect every volley fired in this struggle for women's souls, which is only getting started.